Alright, my name is Charlotte Parker. I'm from Granby, Massachusetts. And for BrickFair, I brought an assortment of custom minifigs that I made myself. We have Legend of Zelda on the top here. And going through the middle, we have Mortal Kombat. And right here is Castlevania and Chrono Trigger. And on the very bottom is my favorite video game series is Final Fantasy.
And so describe your customization process. Like, how do you approach designing a figure?
Well, what my process is like, how would Lego make it? And my style is very simple, and if people ever wanted to make it themselves, they can be like, okay, I can see this piece, he did this, and I cut glue, use this party piece, and whenever people ask a question, they'd be like, where'd you get this piece? And I'll point them in the right direction and how I did it.
And so when you're customizing, what do you find to be the single greatest tool or piece of equipment that you use, like an X-Acto knife or maybe a certain style of paintbrush?
Honestly, I use nail clippers to cut my stuff. They get a very fine process, and it cuts right off immediately. X-Acto knives, you gotta slice and cut, but I use nail clippers and a Dremel tool to drill holes and stuff. And Sharpies, I also use Sharpies, sadly, but they usually use a touch of quick details, not for the whole figure though.
So just lots and lots of different styles or different tools there to accomplish what you want to do.
Yes.
And so now let's take the time to kind of maybe point out a few figures on different bases. So first I'd like you to point out maybe the most difficult figure that to create for you in this display. Like, what was the hardest one here?
The hardest one here, from what I can see, was actually Tingle from Legend of Zelda. Because his headpiece, he's got like these elf ears, and my older Zelda figures, which are not in this figure, and also Link, they have the pointy ears, and they're just very difficult to do because you got to cut the tiny plastic and glue it precisely. And I'm glad that Lego actually made hair pieces with the pointed ears, because I really don't want to do that stuff, do it anymore.
And now let's make a 360 or a 180 or whatever you like. What was the easiest figure here? What's a figure that probably isn't even a custom figure that you probably shouldn't even have in this case?
Sonya Blade. Really, it's just it's the weightlifter figure with the agent's head and ponytail. But that's how she appears in Mortal Kombat 3. That's similar getup. So
sometimes it's like you can really just take pre-existing Lego parts to make a completely new figure.
Yeah, and that's what most of them are. Because with the Final Fantasy, for example, they're based on sprite figures, and just most of them are just easy mix and match, but they get the job right.
Now, if you were to have to point out maybe a figure that you wish you had done differently, maybe point out that and say what you would have done differently if you had to go back and do it again. Because I know when I'm doing something creative, I always want to reapproach it a little bit differently as soon as I finish.
It'll probably have to be the Titus figure from Final Fantasy X. If you get a closer look, you can tell he's very sloppy, but with the cloth accessories, I really wish I can get like a printed torso decal design to look more to complement the Unifigure better, because she's a lot more detailed than Titus is.
Certainly, certainly. Now, if someone wants to maybe find your creations online or possibly commission you for a build, where could they find you, and could they commission you?
I am exclusively on Flickr.com/ChocoBricksCustoms.
Right.
All you gotta do is just punch it in the search bar, and I'm the first hit.
Fantastic. Awesome work, Shiloh. It's always wonderful to observe your wonderful creations here.
All right, thank you.